Welcome
Good evening,
to
family.
Marriage on the Rock.
On the rock,
Marriage on the Rock.
on the rock,
Marriage on the Rock.
on
Rock,
the
rock,
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 rock, rock,
rock,
rock.
rock.
Okay, let's stop.
Yes, because
Welcome
you didn't
to
prepare me
Marriage
for singing.
on
You
the
didn't. You didn't
Rock.
prepare me.
Welcome you all to Marriage on the Rock. We are
Welcome,
live. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to do a
welcome.
waterfall. I
You
am.
spat everywhere.
Yes,
Oh my
Lord,
goodness, y'all
Jesus,
pray, prayer
Lord.
strength. Y'all juicy
Mercy,
mounted,
yes.
as our friend Elder Lickers
Lord,
would
have
say, if
mercy.
he was still with
Very
us.
juicy
She's
mountain.
all juicy mounted.
Very juicy mountain.
Lord
But
have
we
mercy.
are your hosts, Jessica, and this is Charlton.
Hello.
We
Hold up,
are
hold up. All right.
right.
We've been advertising CT and
Well,
Jessica.
I call
Don't
you
tell
Charlton.
folk my
Well,
government
CT.
name. All right.
Okay, CT. He doesn't want you all to know his government
That's all
name.
right.
Okay. Well, now you
I
know.
love my aristocratic
Well,
name.
now you know. But welcome you all. We're so glad that you came to join us live and in color.
Live
We
and in
ask you
color.
all to come on and share.
Please
Share,
do.
share,
Please
share.
do.
Let everyone know that we are on live. Okay.
We are.
Now.
Come on in the
So come
room.
on in the room. Come on in the room. And if you have anything to say, let us know. Let us know in the comment section if you have any questions, what's on your mind in regards to what we're talking about. We have an exciting show
Yes,
on
yes,
tonight.
indeed. We are
Yes,
going to
yes.
deal with the traits of a supportive
Oh,
wife.
yes.
We have been in this vein for about, this is the third week.
Yeah.
We
Right.
opened up this particular conversation as it pertains to being a supportive spouse.
Right.
And we gave you some tips and some nuggets as it pertains to how you can be a supportive spouse
Yes.
if you are a spouse,
Mhm.
husband, and wife.
Mhm.
And if not, you can utilize what we've been sharing as
Mhm.
it pertains to being a supportive wife, a supportive husband. You can place those
Right.
tools
Oh, yes.
in your marriage toolbox to prepare you for that day in when and if that
Right.
day comes. Well, we want you to share. We are on Jessica's Facebook page because, as I shared with you last week, I'm in Facebook restriction.
Yes.
I'm on Facebook restriction.
Continue to pray.
So we are streaming via her
Mhm.
Facebook page. We will upload tonight's broadcast to our Marriage on the Rock Facebook
Right.
page. So those of you who aren't catching it live via Jess's Facebook page, you'll be
Mhm.
able to catch the replay. But hello to our YouTube family.
Hello.
Make sure that you subscribe to our Marriage on the Rock
Yes.
YouTube channel. Click the bell for notifications and hit the thumbs up while you are over there
Mhm.
because that helps with the algorithm.
Right.
And if you are watching via her Facebook page, give us all of the appropriate emojis
Yes.
because
Give us
that
some
helps with
love.
the
Right.
algorithm as well.
Mhm.
Well, we have a special guest with us on tonight,
Yes.
and unfortunately, his precious wife, he is married of
He
20
is.
plus years, and he'll tell you exactly how long, but his wife was not able to be with us on tonight because she is not with us. That's all you need to know.
Right.
But nonetheless, we're so glad to have my dear friend, our dear friend
Yes.
Jacob S. Hobson, with us on tonight. He is no stranger to any of my platforms, but this is
Right.
his first time with us on the Marriage on the Rock platform. And
Yes.
so you're going to see another side, another facet
Mhm.
of Jacob. You know him as the doctor, the pastor, the preacher,
Oh,
and he is the
yes.
pastor of the Vineyard Church in Hampton, Virginia, and the father of four, two girls and two boys. He and his wife, they are the parents, I should say, of four
Right. Make
children.
it plain. Yeah.
And but you're going to see another side of him. You're going to see the father side. You're going to
Mhm.
see the husband side. And so without further ado, we're going to bring in my dear friend,
Welcome.
our dear friend,
Welcome.
Elder Dr.
Elder.
Jacob Stewart
Doctor.
Hobson. But for tonight, we're going to call him Jacob.
Yeah.
Greetings, greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings, greetings. Now you cannot chastise my friend for using your government
I'm
and
telling you.
use
You see
all
that?
three
You
of
see
my,
that?
huh? You use all Terrell, all three of mine.
Well,
Okay,
He did.
that's how we
He
roll.
did.
That's
He
how we
did.
communicate.
He did.
in
Okay.
private communication. Come on here, somebody.
Well, this is
Huh?
private. This is private. We just
Huh?
got a few viewers,
Well,
few viewers.
well.
Keep playing with me.
But take some time and greet us and say hello to us and share
Sure, sure.
briefly in
Well,
regards to you and your lovely wife and how long you all have been married.
good evening to you all. I am so honored to be with my friends, uh, Doctor. almost C.T. Johnson, Charlton Tactell Johnson, and the lady, the love of his life, the most beautiful woman he's ever seen, Jessica Johnson.
I love it. I love that. Yeah.
Listen. She's Polynesian, but we're not going to talk about that. And so I am honored to be on with you guys tonight. I am so apologetic that my beautiful wife is not with me. She is not able to be on tonight, but we have been together. We've been married 23 years. We've been together 27 years.
Wow.
My,
Uh,
my. She's
she
been
went
putting
to
up
my
with you
prom
that
with
long.
me.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
she went to my prom with me in high school, my high school prom, and I proposed to her on our first date. And so
Wow.
and we haven't looked back since. So yeah, the Lord has been extremely nice to us. She's given me four absolutely positively amazing beautiful children, two boys and two girls. That just speaks to me being accurate and her being able to carry. And but I am so I am so glad
Yeah.
and happy that she has been with me this long, and neither one of us have committed homicide or suicide. So,
Well, praise God.
Well, that definitely is
Praise
a
God for that.
blessing in and of
Yes,
itself
Lord.
because seriously, with all that's
Oh,
transpiring in
yes.
our nation and our world, not only this year, but the past 2 years, especially due to the pandemic, which
Mm-hmm.
I call it, there were a lot of marriages that ended
All right.
in divorce, some ended in death
Mm-hmm.
because the other took
Right.
their spouse's life because this
And then they
pandemic, this
weren't used to
pandemic,
it. They weren't used to, some of them weren't used to being with each other, being each other company
24/7.
24/7.
Yeah.
oh,
So
So
that was different.
yes. COVID
Yes,
definitely
yes.
it it exposed those whom had ulterior motives
Right.
for marriage or
Yeah.
pretenses, false pretenses, or what have you. Nonetheless, we're so grateful that you and our dear sister Michelle,
Yes.
you have been persevering, you
Right.
have been forging forward in your
Mm-hmm.
marital union, in your covenant for 23
Yeah.
years. That definitely deserves celebration,
Yes, it
that definitely
does. Oh,
deserves
yes.
to be appreciated
Mm-hmm.
and recognized
Right.
and acknowledged, especially because we both got married young. The four of us, you got married in your 20s, we got married in our 20s, and it is said that those who marry young, the chances of their marriage lasting is
Mm-hmm.
not as great.
Right.
But that's not necessarily true. There are other components and other factors that need to be considered when you are pursuing marriage, really, regardless of the
Oh,
age
yeah. Right.
that you are marrying. But tonight, tonight we're going to jump into our
All
topic
right. Ready.
in regards to traits of a supportive wife. Now, you don't need us to tell you that Jacob is not a wife. He is a husband.
Yes, he is. A
All right.
born.
Yes. I
Yes, but
know that's shocking
you
because
have
we do
to.
have some men
You
that
have
claim to be
right.
wise, but that devil
Yeah.
is still alive.
You have to
All
make
right.
it plain.
Marriage on the rock,
Mm-hmm.
hence rock.
Right.
We are discussing marriage from a scriptural
Mm-hmm.
perspective. We're not discussing
Right.
marriage from a secular, cultural, or the
Exactly.
LGBT perspective.
Exactly.
All right. So
Yes.
he is not speaking to us from a wife's perspective. He's speaking to us and or is going to speak to us from a husband's
Mm-hmm.
perspective as it pertains to his
Right.
supportive wife. So we're
Right.
excited about this tonight. And before we get into the traits, Jacob, give us a brief definition in your own words of what a supportive spouse is from both husband and wife perspective, and then hone in on what a supportive wife is or should be, and then we'll jump into the actual traits.
a supportive spouse is an understander of covenant and a supporter of vision.
That's good.
Good. It
A
is.
supportive wife is someone who understands that God gave a man a mandate. And in order to live out that mandate, she has to fill the holes he is man enough to be vulnerable in.
Okay,
Hmm.
wait a minute. Wait a
Wow.
minute. Now, see,
Come on
you
now,
you already you're
come on,
coming out the
doctor.
gate
Already.
being deep.
Lord have mercy.
Now, reiterate that last statement that she is capable of filling in the holes
Mm.
of his vulnerabilities.
Wow.
Spend a few
Man,
minutes there.
man was given a mandate. Um, Once he's given this mandate, God gives him orders on how to accomplish or what to accomplish.
Mhm.
As he's doing what he has accomplished, the fruit of everything that God gave him now begins to reproduce and begins to show up. And God gives him a help meet. Um, what was the thing that she was supposed to help him meet? She was supposed to help him meet the result of a man who follows God's orders. So the
Mhm.
mandate of what he was given always reproduces, and she helps him, watch this, turn what reproduces into something that is incubated and then developed.
Wow.
My
Wow.
wife is the incubator of the fruit of what I, as a man, fulfill in the mandate of God over my life. She
Mm.
incubates. She is the oven to my groceries.
Hmm.
Uh, so if I understand that everything that she does is going to not just reproduce, but she's going to put together the pieces that the broken pieces that I have. I might have a piece of the vision. I might have multiple pieces of the vision, but she's the collaborator of all of the pieces of my vision, so that we're able to make it happen in the future and in the now in a cohesive presentation.
That's
That's
good.
good.
Anything you want to add there, being that you are a wife,
That's
in
good.
regards to the supportive responsibilities and roles?
That's good. Because so you're not, as a supportive husband, you wouldn't be threatened to allow her to opinions in regards to helping you to, because some men, they may be threatened whereby they don't want their wives to give them a reason, or give them, like, I would say, sometimes they feel threatened by the wife, whereby she may offer some support in certain things, but they may feel threatened in regards to what she has said. So you wouldn't feel threatened by your wife in
But
offering support.
that's not a man.
Hmm.
I need you to understand the difference
I'm
between
saying you got some
between
men out there.
a man a man and um I don't know how much I can go into here, but um
Hey.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me gather myself. Let me gather myself, because I wasn't expecting you to be that blunt, even though we are blunt in our discussions always. But that just caught me off guard. It blessed me. It really did. It blessed me down in the city of my
But you
sanctified
got some
soul.
men that think that way though.
Exactly. But
So
it's so powerful. Don't lose your thought. But because I want you to expound more I want you to expound on what you meant. And I think you were about to before I
yeah.
interject. But I want you to expound more, or expound on what you meant by he's not a man, because I want the men, the potential husbands, the current husbands, to lean in and to listen to what you're about to break down, because most men, in hearing that statement, who fits the category of what you spoke of in regards to being insecure, not in their mind, but that's really the substratum of them not accepting the opinion and or the advice or the suggestions of their wife. It's because of them having unresolved
Mhm.
issues with who they are,
Right.
and in some instances not knowing who they are. But their response to you, well, that's not a man, would be, well, what do you mean? I am a man. I provide for my
Mhm.
house. I make sure that all of the responsibilities are met. So what exactly did you mean by saying if a man is not accepting or even invites his wife in for opinion, for advice, for conversation pertaining to whatever it is that they're dealing with? What's your response to them? I am a man. I work every day.
As a man, not a
I pay the
man.
bills. What do you mean I'm not a man? You ain't no man. What?
Every seed needs soil.
Mm,
Every plug needs a socket.
Hmm.
Um, and if you understand that the seed can't dictate the soil, nor can the plug dictate the socket.
mhm,
And if you understand that each one or needs the other, then you'll understand that I cannot be intimidated by what I need. I just have to utilize, watch this, it in the way it presents itself, regardless of how much of an attitude or how much of a forethought I have on its presentation.
mm,
I looked at a socket today and I thought to myself, I said, it's crazy who came up with this, because everything that you need in order to power what you have, I'm going
mhm.
to do it again. Everything you need in order to power what you have, it is in the union of two things that's empowered by a source above it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care how much that thing looks great. It has the capacity and the ability to do all that it can do without the corresponding attachment, the socket to the soil. The socket to the plug, the seed to the soil. Without the corresponding attachment, there is nothing that you can do, no matter how powerful you claim to be.
Right.
A
Mm,
female,
Mm.
a female is just like the socket. As long as she's connected to the source, watch this. When I plug myself into her, I reach my full potential. I cannot, I cannot argue with the amount of power she has,
wow.
because I need to use the power that I need at the time. You're not a man if you question or you have a problem with her power.
Mm,
You need it. Your issue is not the fact that you don't need her power. The fact is you don't know how to appropriate her power. I'm gonna leave that alone.
wow.
Okay.
You said something. We're getting ready to get into
Okay.
these traits. We have about
Let it
6 of
go.
them, I think, that we're going to deal with tonight. But you said something,
Mhm.
you said many things that were very potent and powerful. And I'm trying to pull what specifically you said just a moment ago. And I can't recall verbatim, but you said something to the effect of, well, that oh Jesus, what is it that you said? But I can't remember. But when you said what you said, the thought that came to mind was uh, how detrimental it is marrying the wrong person, because you said something to the effect that the wife, and if it jogs your memory, then please reiterate what you said. But the wife basically has the ability to
Incubate.
develop, incubate, and develop
Yes.
the seed of the man, whether it's in the natural sense, the sperm, or whether it's an idea, a concept, a vision, a dream. She has the ability to develop it in her, incubating it, in her covering it, in her protecting it, in her watching over it. she helps to develop it. She helps it to produce to the highest level of success.
Yeah.
So again, if you marry the wrong person, just as that wife has the ability to develop you, even
Yeah.
as a husband and as a man, and develop what you give her. If you marry the wrong person, they have the ability to sabotage it. They have the ability to impede it. They have the ability to shut it down. And so, again, that's why it's important that we don't choose spouses for superficial purposes and or reasons. And several months ago, I quoted, I made this statement rather, that we are to marry for purpose, not pleasure.
Absolutely.
Because when you marry for purpose, then regardless of the opposition, regardless of the challenges, you understand that we are together. Our union is to serve one another and not one person. And I think that's where a lot of people miss it. They get married to fulfill their laundry list
because it's about them.
because
It's all about
right,
them.
it's about them. They never consider what am I bringing to the table as it pertains to enhancements,
Right.
as it pertains to uh what's the opposite of liabilities?
Asset.
Thank you. What am I bringing to the table as it pertains to assets? And so, what say ye there? And then we're going to jump into these specific traits of a supportive wife. But I just thought that was very interesting because you and I both together, we've been married. You've been married 23. We've been married going on 19. So we've been married over 50 years together. All right. And you pastor, I've pastored, you counsel, I've counseled, I still counsel. And we have seen people not able to last 2 years versus 20 years, some a year versus 10 years. And I think, of course, there are various reasons as it pertains to why a marriage ends. But I'm talking about a marriage ending for frivolous reasons, superficial reasons. And one main reason, people don't consult God. Christians, that is, don't consult God as it pertains to whom he has ordained for them, because they don't understand that revelation that you gave, that a husband and wife or man and woman come together to become one so that they can provide what is necessary for the other to become whom God has ordained them to be.
And then too, competition takes place too if you're not marrying for the right reason, because you got couples, husband and wife, they are competing with each other instead of against each other. They're, you know, it's
No, you're right.
Competing with each other versus, you know, with us coming together,
they compete with each other.
They're not
complimenting,
you know, coming as a team, and it's not building each other up. You know, I'm supposed to push him to his destiny and he's supposed to push me to my destiny, but there's not doing that because they're competing, you know, oh, it's about me. You know, they're so selfish in what they got going on versus them coming together. And so you have to, that's where communication comes in too.
And in most cases, they don't have nothing going on anyway. But go ahead. What are your what are your comments? And then we're going to jump into these traits. We're doing wonderful on time. We're doing wonderful.
Really quickly, I went across the water. I was in Germany and I had to preach in Germany. I went over there with all of my United States, my U.S. Clippers and all of my stuff to plug in. And I found out that going over there, I could not use my stuff to plug into their sockets.
Right.
I needed an adapter. So here, let me just work for just 1 second. I promise I'm done already. The thing that you have to understand is when you marry the wrong person, it's trying to plug a U.S. Plug into a German socket.
That's good.
It doesn't fit. And so you start needing adapters in order to keep the marriage alive. So
All right,
now,
hold on. That's
Jesus.
bellworthy. That's that analogy right there.
I'm gonna have to write that
That's
down.
bellworthy. Hold on, I got the bell up. Hold on.
Can you say that one more
Yes.
time?
That was good.
Say that one more
it's
time.
just like taking a US plug and trying
Marrying the
to put
wrong
it
person.
in a German socket. You begin to keep you now use different adapters to get, watch this, the power you think you need, not realizing that even when you use the adapter, you do not function at full capacity because the power grid is different. I can't get nobody to talk to me. And so what now happens, and I had to catch myself because my churchy man came out just
Yeah,
then.
I saw it.
You
I
acting
saw it.
up. You acting up.
Yeah.
So
Watch your voice.
I
Watch your
found
voice.
out I found out that when I go over there to Germany, I found out that if I attempt, watch this, to force my plug into their sockets, I will overheat and destroy what I have
My
because
God.
I'm in the wrong grid and what I'm doing doesn't fit.
Mm,
There are a lot of people right now, Jess,
mm.
who are trying to make marriages work, but they're not on the same. Y'all not gonna
Same
talk.
They're
grid.
not.
Come
They're
on, sir.
not.
You got people using all kinds of adapters. You're using porn and you're using
Mm.
y'all not gonna talk to me. It's all right. I'm still gonna talk about
Go
it.
ahead.
You're using uh, some of you are using money, some of you are using sex, some of you are using threesomes and foursomes and sevensomes, and you're using all of these different
Oh,
things.
That's
They're
true.
using all these
Jesus.
different adapters
Yeah.
because they think that these adapters are going to get them to optimum power. It
Mm,
gets you some power, but it's not the same. You don't ever function at full capacity with an adapter in the wrong on the wrong socket.
Mm.
wow.
And so
Wow.
that's some of y'all are getting divorces and you're mad at each other every single day, and every single morning you wake up hoping that the other one died in their sleep because you've connected to the wrong person
Right.
using an adapter that you were never supposed to be connected to.
Mm.
Mm. That was good.
Whew. All right.
Lord
Let me give y'all another bell moment so that
Jesus.
we can just
Yeah, 'cause
process.
he cutting up.
So we can just process
It's nothing.
what
You asked
has just
me.
been
He
shared.
cutting up. Oh, I tell you.
Well, you know, I don't expect anything
Mm,
less.
cutting up.
But it's so true
Yes, it
what
is.
you've said. So true. And for those of you that are just coming in,
Mm,
share on
yes.
Facebook, share on YouTube. We are discussing traits of a supportive wife, and we're
Right.
going to jump into the actual traits of a supportive wife. But for the past 3 weeks, we have been on this supportive spouse,
Mhm.
not campaign, but this supportive spouse teaching here on the platform Marriage on the Rock, helping spouses, helping husbands and wives become better, helping
Right.
you to transition your marriage from the rocks to the rock. And one way to do that is to understand what your role and
Right.
responsibilities are as a husband, as a wife, to support
Right.
your spouse. And as we have been sharing, we're not talking about supporting them in foolishness,
No.
supporting them
Oh no.
in idiocy, supporting them in things that are not in the will of God. We're not talking about you supporting
Right.
your wife to have a OnlyFans account. We're not talking
Right.
about that foolishness.
Right. Right.
We're not talking about that. All right. Just let me go ahead and make that clear. Because we
You're
can
not gonna let
support
Jess have
each
an
other.
OnlyFans.
Sir,
You're not gonna let Jess have an OnlyFans.
I am her OnlyFans.
Maybe I
Shando,
have
no,
some fans.
whatever.
You
I know.
better show your feet. Oh,
I
sorry.
am the only fan. But we do have spouses that support each other in
Mhm.
wrong.
Right. Oh yeah.
Support each other in
Right.
something that is actually harming them
Mhm.
and actually harming their marriage
Mhm.
and becoming a cancer
Right.
and metastasizing itself to their marriage, and they wonder why they're having the issues that they're having, because you are supporting in the wrong thing.
Because some of them, they're afraid to be honest.
Well, we're going to deal with that
As
here
well.
in a moment. And you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, let's jump into this now. We need y'all to share again. We're having a wonderful dialogue with our
Yes.
dear friend Jacob Hobson, who's been married 23 years. They have 4 beautiful children, 2 boys and 2 girls. They had the boy and the girl, and then they repeated themselves.
Right.
Well, no, they went backwards.
No,
They had the boy,
no,
the girl,
no.
then they had another girl,
Yeah.
and they finished it up with the boy. And so he is, of course, his lovely wife, unfortunately, is not with us tonight, but we will have them back again real soon. But he's here, and he has been sharing some powerful
Yes.
wisdom
Mhm.
and nuggets with us as it pertains to being a supportive
Right.
spouse. And now we're about to get into the specifics of being a supportive wife. Last week we dealt with the husband. Now tonight we're going to deal with the wife. And so, Jacob, the first trait that we're going to deal with tonight, and we're going to try to get to them all. And of course, we won't be able to exhaust all of them, but we're going to at least touch them to give you enough whereby you can do due diligence as it pertains to studying and praying and doing what's necessary in order for you to develop these traits. So the first is being able to listen to your spouse without judgment. Being able to listen to your spouse, talking about the wife. This is a trait of the supportive wife. The wife being able to listen to her husband without judgment. Now, Jacob, just elaborate on this particular trait for a minute or so and help us understand what this looks like.
A man will shut down the moment he has to relive his nakedness with his wife. Anytime a man allows you inside of his mind and inside of his head, and definitely inside of his emotions, for you to bring that back up and allow him or make him, watch this, pay for what he showed you, the area of his vulnerability, when he feels like he has to pay for that, you won't get it again.
Help the women.
Wow.
Help the
You
wives.
won't get
Wives. That's good.
because a man is not used to being vulnerable. But when he is, he's giving you that intimacy the way he knows how to give it. A man's definition of intimacy is to give you, watch this, the thoughts of his vulnerability and watch this, the identity of his weakness. Delilah did the same thing to Samson. She nagged him almost to death until he gave her the area of his vulnerability. What he did not pick up on is every single time he did that, she made him pay for what he told her.
Right. Right.
So when you as a woman will make a man pay for what he tells you, you'll never ever get the access to the truth of who he is again. He'll lie to you, but you won't get the truth of who he is.
Wow.
That is so true.
Wow.
If he doesn't shut down communication altogether,
Right.
he will lie.
He'll lie to you.
He's communicating, but he's
But
communicating that which is
Wow.
false because you have proven that you're not a safe place.
Right.
You're not a safe space. You're not a safe space or a safe place. And that's one thing that a lot of women, and you can speak to this as well, however you desire, but a lot of wives don't understand that men, and when we say men, of course, Jacob and I have not interviewed all the men that ever lived and are living. We're talking generally speaking, because we know all men are different based on upbringing, things of that nature. But generally speaking, men are not very conversational regarding their feelings. And when they are, you have to prove that you, again, are a safe space and a safe place whereby you will not, down the road, when an argument comes up, when a disagreement
Mhm.
comes up, use what he shared with you, use his vulnerability against him. Because in doing that, that to a man is the epitome of disrespect.
Right.
Absolutely.
And men thrive on honor and respect. And so this is why you have some men that step outside of their marriage, if they're married, and those who aren't, they deal with women that have 10 kids from 11 different men. But the reason is because Bonquisha is respectful. So he is willing to put up with all of those children and the baby daddies.
Right.
Because she, at least as it pertains to his understanding of what respect is, and based upon his definition, she respects him. And so he'll put up with all of the baby kids.
Right.
Because Bonquisha respects him. When Monique, who has no kids, successful, what have you, but does not offer that respect, which men, I think I said thrive off of, but and in some cases, yes, but that respect is very important. Let me rephrase it. Respect and honor is extremely important to a man. And when they are respected and when they are honored, that makes them want to go the extra mile and or do more because of your appreciation to them. Yes, go ahead.
Well, there is a question from Dying to Live. She
we
asked,
do. We
yeah,
have a question on Facebook.
She says, "So can
we have
it
a question
be,
on YouTube."
So, Dr. Jacob, so can it be restored once it has?
Where's the question? Okay, here's the question, Jacob.
Once it has been broken, and because we don't want you to continue to lie to us as a wife, can we rebuild that trust? How can we rebuild that trust?
Go ahead, sir.
How can it be restored?
It can be restored because we will, over a period of time, we will try you again. But the problem is, have you ever wondered why women who are not as pretty as you, who are not as who don't have a better body than you, who don't have all of those wonderful traits that you think that women think men are only looking for, you wonder why they get married over some of these women who are walking around here looking like they were created in a lab? You want to know why? The reason
Why?
why the reason why it is because not just because they have substance, it's because they developed the personality and character. They developed a safe space for that man to come to, not necessarily because she's fine. A man, watch this, a man in the eyes of a man, something that you would call a mud duck, he would find the most beautiful, he'd find every perfect trait about you. But it's because you became a safe space for him. It's because you became that space where he could be vulnerable without judgment. And when you no longer become that place where he can be vulnerable without judgment, you will never get his full reality, his full truth.
That's good.
You'll never get his full truth. Because he will never, ever put you in a place where his full truth can be protected.
That's good. Dying Love, Dying to Live, rather.
Dying to Live.
Did that answer your question? Let us know in the comments if Jacob answered your question. Very good question. We thank you. So those of you, if you have questions, please do put them in the comments and we will address them. So listen.
I got one more question. we need to get to the other one. So do men thrive on praise and recognition?
I think everybody thrives on praise and recognition. That's not a man thing. That's an everybody thing. I think, let me say it this way. And I know this new generation of men have stepped up to a place now where they are more vocal about what they want. And so they are saying to you now Don't come to me unless you're willing to give the intimacy you're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue. We've been taught, my generation was taught that the relationship, a happy wife, happy life.
I lie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lie from the pit of hell.
Lie.
Right.
Oh
But
Lord,
the
I don't want to.
reality-
I don't want to go there. That statement just makes me cringe. It really
Why
does.
make you
That
cringe?
statement makes me cringe.
Why it makes you cringe?
It makes me cringe because happy wife, happy life. That is to say that your marriage, it centers around your
Around the
wife,
wife.
and the
Mhm.
husband has no connection, no part,
Mhm.
that the
Yeah.
marriage has nothing to do with the husband.
Right.
And that's why when we got married and people would say, oh, this is Jessica's wedding day. I said, no, it's not. She's not
Right.
marrying herself.
Right.
This is our wedding day. Now I know to the woman, in some instances, they're more excited and they are more involved, maybe as it pertains to the planning of the wedding, but it's not her wedding day.
Alone.
Is she marrying herself?
Alone.
So when we say happy wife, happy life, you're excluding the fact that being married includes two people.
Right.
So it's not happy wife, happy life. It's not even about happiness, really, because if
You ain't gonna
you enter into
Bro,
marriage with the
based
mindset
upon
that
happiness?
you're supposed to be happy throughout the entirety of your marriage, you are
in a rude
setting
awakening.
yourself up for a rude awakening, for devastation and great
You're gonna have some
disappointment.
unhappy times.
All right, great disappointment. But
Mhm.
let's see what she said. She said, once the let's put it up here. So once the woman becomes a safe place, then the marriage can be restored free from lies. Well, I don't want to give you false hope to say or suggest that wives whom are safe spaces and safe places for their husband, that alone eradicates the possibility of lying, because
Right.
that's not true. That's not true. But in the context of our conversation, if both are, first of all, open to restore,
Mhm.
see, you both have to be on the same page,
Right.
as it pertains to restoring the breach of trust.
Right.
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 And if you both are on the same page,
Mhm.
and you own your part played, and you focus on what it is you need to enhance your marriage, versus focusing on what he needs
Right.
do or what she needs do. No, you focus on what you
Right.
need do to enhance our marriage. I focus on what I need do to enhance our marriage, and then we come together.
Right.
So first, you both must be on the same page as it pertains to desiring the trust, the breach in whatever area to be restored, and then you come together with a plan.
Right.
Okay, don't think that the restoration is going to happen by osmosis. No, you have to develop a plan.
Right.
A building is not erected by
Right.
praying and clapping of the hands. No, you have to have a
Right.
plan. You have to have a blueprint, and
Mhm.
then
Right.
after the blueprint, you have to have construction workers. You have to get permits. There
Mhm.
are certain levels of process
Right.
in order for a building to be erected. And same with restoring your marriage as it pertains to the area of trust. So be on the same page first and foremost, then come together with a
Right.
plan. Okay, this is what the husband, if he's the one whom trust has been violated because you weren't that safe place or safe space, then he needs to tell you, okay, this is what I need from you. These are my non-negotiables. This is
Communicate,
what
right.
I need. This is what I desire. In order for me to begin to rebuild trust again, this is what I need from you, and vice versa, and vice versa. All right. Hopefully, dying love. Why do I keep saying dying
to
love?
live.
Dying to live.
Dying to live. Get that right.
I'm living to live again.
Lord Jesus.
Praise God. Okay.
Lord.
So hopefully, between the three of us, we help to answer your question. Anything else you want to add before we go on?
No,
Because
'cause
time is moving.
We haven't
But
even jumped into this.
we're going to get to as many traits as we can tonight.
ain't
If
even
not,
jumped into them
we'll
traits.
see if Jacob's schedule allows him to come back next week, and we'll see if Michelle's schedule allows her as well. So we're going to get to as many traits as we can. If we don't hit them all, then we just don't hit them all. But anything you want to add there, Jacob, before we go on?
I loved your analogy. And what I love about your analogy is that when you are re-erecting your building, you have to hire those who are professional in the job that you need them to do.
Right.
Stop trying to hire people that you get from Home Depot and they look like they have some. Y'all not gonna talk to me. It's all right. You're trying to get the cheapest labor possible.
I knew he was gonna cut up.
You're trying to get the cheapest labor possible. But in order for you to get the soundest product out of what you want, you need to learn how to hire professionals in order to get it done.
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
Whew. Our dear friend Lady Sanders is on Facebook, and we can't show her comments because I didn't disconnect from our ministry's Facebook before connecting to Jessica's, and so I can't share her comments. But she says, yes, develop a plan, good stuff. She dropped the mic and she said, hit the bell. So let me hit the bell for Lady Sanders. We love her and Apostle.
Yes. Lady Sanders, my sister.
There we go. That's for you, Lady Sanders. We love you and the Apostle of North Carolina, in which I call him. All right. So now let's that's some good stuff.
Yes,
that's some good stuff.
Really is.
If you all are enjoying tonight's discussion, and if we're helping you, then let us know. Put it in the comments and share. So trait number 2 of a supportive wife: having an ability to encourage your husband to be the best version of himself. Now, we kind of touched this in the beginning, in the intro, but Jacob, I just want you to scratch the surface of this for 60 seconds and help us understand what this looks like. A supportive wife encouraging her husband to become, and I love this trait, becoming the best version of himself and not the version that she wants.
Right. Yeah. Well,
woman was not created when man was being created. So you don't have the blueprint on his creation, but you do have the way to encourage him. Understand something. It's not your job to create him. It's your job to encourage him. I'm gonna do it again.
Hold on. Yeah, dude. Yeah, rewind. It's yes, Lord have mercy. It's not. Hold on. Let me hit my bell before you. Hold on. Come on, bell. See, that ain't nothing but the old bell devil. Come on, sir. Rewind.
God didn't ask for your input in Adam's creation.
I heard that.
He asked for your help in his further movement. So your job is not to create him. Your job is to encourage him. Now, understand something. My wife knows how to talk to me, meaning that in order for me to move, she knows that if she talks to me in preacher voice, she's going to get a better response from me, because that's our line of communication. That's how she talks to me when she wants something done. She knows how to encourage me, not from a book, but from her intimacy with me. You can read all the books you want. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, act like a man, think like a woman, woman act like. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But the reality is, the truth is that if you don't know how to encourage your husband, you've been doing nothing but sleeping with a stranger, and you haven't put as much, watch this, you haven't put as much forethought and interest in your husband as you're asking him to put in you.
My God.
Anything you want to add there? It is the wife's job to encourage, to support, not create.
Not create them.
Anything you want to add there?
I don't know what to add. That was Lord.
It was profound. And I must say, my wife does that. She encourages me to be whom God has ordained me to be. And she entered into that revelation and or entered into that knowledge of who God has ordained me to be and God's plan and purpose for my life, because she became intimate with me. She entered into my emotions, my mind, took time to learn me, took time to understand, ask questions. And so again, this word I'm about to throw out there again, it doesn't happen by osmosis. And I think, Jacob, that's the downfall of Lifetime. That's the downfall of Hallmark, because they deceive people in thinking that the happily ever after and or the perfect marriage, which there is none, that it happens by osmosis.
Right.
You just dream it. And then the evangelical church helped to perpetuate that lie, name it and claim it, blab it and grab it. No, but it took time. It took years, and now going on 19, where we do not. Now, I'm not going to say that in the beginning we didn't try to make the other what we wanted them to be. And I think all of us do that in the beginning until we mature and come of age and realize that you didn't marry a child.
Right.
Well, we hope you didn't. You may have, as far as the mindset. And so she does not endeavor to create me to be what she envisions me to be, because God already had the vision as it pertains to who he wanted us to be individually. So that's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to tap into his vision for the other and assist in that vision that he has already orchestrated and determined to come to pass.
And you can't compare, because I think that's the issue too. Some people, they compare their marriage with other marriages. Oh, why you can't do like Jason over there do? Why you can't treat
Well, you didn't
me?
marry Jason.
Why
My
you
name is
can't
Charlton.
treat
My
me
name ain't
like
Jason.
Jason? You know, so you know.
If you want me to be Jason, you should have married Jason.
But that's the truth.
That's what you should have done.
But
Because
that's
what
the
you're
truth.
not going to do.
But you do.
But no,
you have
you're right.
comparison. I mean, you got people that compare, and
You're absolutely right.
And then too, they compare if you're not making a certain amount of money because they feel as though they have wants and they have needs. Why you can't spend money on me like Jacob is, you know, so. And that's the issue too, in regards to the comparison.
And we make these statements not knowing what their spouse did by way of support, to get them to that place where they could splurge on their wife and give her a blank check, as it were, and say go shopping every month or what have you. So that's
and you don't see the beginnings too. You don't
see you don't know where people started.
The struggles.
That's good.
The challenges.
So if I could back up a minute, which means, Lady Jessica and CT, that the deficit of your man will always be seen in the lack of your connection.
The deficit of your man will be seen
if you don't have a connection to the Father who empowers him. I told you earlier that the man is the plug, the wife is the socket. But if she's not connected to the source in a way that empowers her, when he goes to plug into her, he will always experience, watch this, a lackluster version of himself.
Wow.
And it's the insufficient version. You are the reason, I'm not going to say the full reason, but if you're married to him or he's married to you, you are responsible for empowering him in a way that your connection with God literally gives him so much power, he has to operate at full capacity. He doesn't have a choice.
Wow.
You've given him a choice because you have a lackluster relationship with God.
That's good.
My God.
You know, we're not going to get to all them tonight. We're going to wind it down.
I knew it.
But dying to live wants you to expound more on your Home Depot analogy. I hope you remember what you said as it pertains to going to Home Depot and getting you. Basically, in my mind, I was thinking in your analogy, you were referring to a bootleg. Instead of utilizing professionals as it
Absolutely.
pertains to assisting you in restoring or in the restoration of your marriage. So elaborate more on your Home Depot analogy for dying to live, and then we're gonna prepare to wind down.
The house that I'm in right now, they got a guy that's the friend of a cousin to do all of the repairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And upon inspection of the repairs that he did, we started seeing leaks in the house, and we started seeing mold in the house, and we were upset because once you opened up the repair, you found out that when you got what you paid for, because you were trying to save a few dollars, you got, watch this, Charlton, and I pray this blesses you. You got a shoddy work job, and you got something that caused more damage than help.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you'll get somebody who can do the job but doesn't have insurance. Lord have mercy.
Jesus.
I don't have time to work like I want to. I'm going to behave myself. You'll get somebody who will do the job but not insured or assured of the job they do.
Right. Jesus.
They cut corners.
We got so caught up in using bootlegs instead of going to someone who knows what they're talking about. You'll call your best friend and chop it up with your best friend about, oh, girl, what you think I should do in this situation? Well, they're single.
Come on now.
And or on their fourth marriage.
Come on.
On their ninth marriage. They got 12 kids by 15 daddies.
Right.
And it's just, it's, you now run the risk of destroying what you have that's permanent by dealing with someone who's temporary.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know what? Go ahead. Are you finished with your statement? I'm trying to find.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. I know we got to wind it down.
But Dying to Live says she did get it.
Okay.
She said she got it.
What say ye there? I'm trying to find something.
This is
from my new book. I'm trying to find a quote that fits perfectly in.
We're gonna have to do a part 2. Yeah.
I ain't coming back. Every time I get up,
don't worry. I'll talk to Michelle.
45 sessions.
Listen,
I get 4 and 5 sessions with Charlton, and I'm like, Lord.
And you love every minute of it.
But you have to start paying me, doggone it. This is good word for free. We can't be doing good word for free.
But you know what? And I know you're joking, but seriously, while I was sitting here, we need to do a Marriage on the Rock masterclass. And I'm going to have you, I'm going to have the Sanders and some others, and we're going to do it on Zoom, and it will not be free. We will charge because we're going to probably do about 2 hours or so of Q&A. And so definitely it's coming. But I'm trying to find, I don't know what chapter, I know it's in the wisdom chapter of my new book, and I'm trying to find this quote. Jacob, give us closing remarks while I'm endeavoring to find this quote. We have been talking about traits of a supportive wife. We're in this supporting spouse series, and Jacob has blessed us tonight, has given us profound wisdom and insight, profound revelation as it pertains to how you as a wife can make the necessary adjustments to increase your capacity to support your husband. Because let me say this, and we're going to have Jacob give closing remarks. Even if your husband is not operating at the level that he should and even capable of operating, you honing in on what he is doing versus honing in on what he's not doing is the epitome of support. And when he realizes, hey, I'm falling short in these areas,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife has not been berating me with what I am falling short in and or on, but she's been encouraging me, she's been
Right.
pushing me as it pertains to the things that I am doing well, it will cause him to self-reflect and self-correct.
Mm.
Did you hear me? It will cause him to self-reflect and self-correct. Many wives make the mistake of always underlining what the husband
they're
is not
not
doing,
doing.
and vice versa. But tonight we're talking about the wives. We're trying to
Mhm.
help you women. All
Being
right,
very critical.
being critical,
Critical.
overly critical,
Right.
and your criticism is not constructive.
No.
It's destructive.
Right.
Lord, I feel a second wind
Right.
coming now. You're operating.
Right.
You're destructively
Mhm.
criticizing and not
You
constructively.
can never do
criticizing.
anything right.
Nothing right.
Nothing right.
Nothing
You're
right.
always doing something wrong.
Okay. Nothing right.
Mhm.
And so when you hone in on what he is doing right, and support and push him in what he is accomplishing, it will cause him to self-reflect. It will cause him to realize, okay, I'm falling short here. And the encouragement that you've given him will cause him to make the necessary corrections. If you have a husband that is that wants to be the best husband. Now, of course, that's not for everybody. It's not the norm. Sometimes it's the exception. But if you have a husband who wants to be the best husband that he possibly can be, father, provider, all of that,
because that can open the door for him
can.
to see somebody else. Because somebody else,
the sanctified wife, the husband is sanctified by the
be
sanctified
careful.
wife.
You'll see Lula
Jacob, I'm telling you, Jacob, give us closing remarks or anything that you want to elaborate on as we prepare to wind down here.
Thank you so much once again for allowing me on your platform. I am definitely appreciative of you. Thank you, Jess. It's probably your idea, you know what I'm saying? It was more Jess than anybody else. And so I am just so appreciative of you, Jessica.
Did y'all notice how his voice changed? Y'all notice I'm telling you, talk about nice to my wife
and we used to,
just disrespectful.
we used to always be arguing back in the day.
I know. It's amazing how God has come in and changed it. But go ahead.
Look at this part. Look at him.
Look at him.
I'm done.
No, I am so appreciative of you guys. I will say this, and I won't be long-winded. What I would say is that what we're talking about are for wives and for husbands. We're not talking about men who just want a steady sex mate.
Well, make it clear.
Say that.
Or a woman who wants a vibrator with a pulse.
See, you know what?
We are talking about wives, and you cannot be every woman is white.
I'm sorry, I had to get that out.
I cannot.
That tickled my funny box.
Always acting up.
That tickled my funny box.
Always acting
but
up.
Seriously, but we're being serious.
We're being serious. That is the truth.
I'm being serious.
Me.
Yeah.
There are people and women right now who think the answer to every argument is her behind.
Right. Okay. All right. That's a whole nother line.
Every woman is not a wife. She has wife potential.
Right.
But every woman is not a wife. And if you understand that, there are those who elevate themselves to the standards of a wife or as everybody says, a Proverbs 31 woman. If you want to be a wife, you have to prepare yourself before they got married back in the day, before they were made, those unions were made. She would they would massage that woman in Egyptian time, in biblical time. They would massage her for a month or so before the wedding, until they saw that when she released all of her urine, it was pure, because they understood in order for you to be a wife, you have to purify yourself of everything, watch this, that's been in you prior to him.
Mm.
Did I clean that up good?
Mm.
Some
good.
of you want to be wives, but you're not single.
Right.
Some of you want to be husbands, but you're not single.
Yeah.
You've entered into all of these covenants.
Right.
And if God was looking at us from the biblical perspective, some of us are polyamorous. Some of us have multiple, multiple,
Mhm.
multiple wives and husbands.
Wow.
And so the reality is, in order for you to prepare yourself to be a wife, the first thing you have to do is you have to divorce all of the people you've married prior to.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You
And that's
gotta
a process.
you gotta
It's
get divorced.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
and it's a process. So and many people they jump in marriage so quickly. They jump
Right.
in marriage without being dutiful in understanding what's required prior to marrying. Most
Mhm.
people focus on what's required when married, but you need to focus on what's required prior to marriage.
Right. Right.
Focus on, as you said, what preparation, what is necessary for you to do, what is necessary for you to disconnect from, what is necessary for you to clean up prior to marriage.
Right.
We
Yeah.
only normally we think about what to do when we're married,
Right.
but we don't think about what's required to prepare for marriage. But this has been wonderful.
And this is the last question Dying to Live has. She said, what's the process? Oh, she said, we need more time.
Dying to Live. She says we need more time. She wants to stay on for another hour, so she needs more time. But we're gonna do a part 2. But now,
Are you
explain your question. What's the process regarding what? So, if you can expeditiously drop in the comment precisely what you're asking, what the process is to, and
Well,
then we'll
she
answer.
said the question prior to that, for a woman who want to become a wife, what's the process of, I guess, getting rid of or becoming divorced?
Hold on. She's
Dr. Jacob said there's a process.
okay. All right. He said there's a process, but he said there's a process to what? If you could help us with the what, connect the process to a thing. What he was referring to as it pertains to the process. Unless you understand the question, I'm still lost
I think
on.
you understand the question. How do I get divorced from all of the people that I'm
Okay.
married to?
Okay.
What is that process? We don't have
Okay.
enough time in this session to deal with all of that. But let me say
Yeah.
this:
We'll give a little
uh,
something to chew on until next week.
sometimes you have to allow God to give you a spiritual laxative, and allow yourself to be. Have you ever taken a laxative, milk of magnesia,
Mhm.
something like that? What happens is, watch this: you shut yourself away in a designated place
What?
and don't invite anybody in.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So that when what comes out of you that was in you comes out of you, watch this, you have to deal with that between you and the God that you're in there with.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get yourself in a position where you and God are by yourself, and you have to allow him to purge out of you all of the people and the things, so that when God does bring your husband or your wife in your vicinity, they're not constantly having to compete with the memories of your past and
Right.
struggle with and rebuild you. Y'all not gonna talk back to me. You
Right.
not. He don't have to come in and play engine number 9 rolling down the transit line so
Mhm.
that he can get you back to a place where you're worth being a wife to him.
Mm.
Because a man doesn't come for projects, women do.
Jesus.
And on that note,
Lord, I said you about to start
and on
stuff
that
up
note, listen,
again.
this has indeed been a powerful time of discussion with
Yes,
the
it has.
Dr. Elder Pastor Jacob S. Hobson
Yes.
out of Hampton, Virginia. He is the pastor of the Vineyard Church, married 23 years to the lovely Michelle Hobson, 4 beautiful children. And we thank you, sir,
Yes,
for
thank you.
sharing with us. I know you would have rather have your wife by your side, and we hope
We're
that
gonna have
she'll
to
be
get her on next time.
able
Yes.
to fill that position, fill that void on next week or
Yes.
soon to come. But we're going to close out. But I was looking through my book, my brand new book. Yes, I'm putting in a shameless plug. There's no shame
Plug
in
it,
it.
sir.
All right. It's
My brand
okay.
new book,
Brag on.
Empower
Yes.
Your Thinking. Let me pull up my, there we go. Empower Your
Look at
Thinking,
that.
Volume 1.
Ain't that
Quotes to
nice?
shift consciousness, provoke thought, and increase understanding. You can go to my website, and you don't have to pre-order. You can order. The books are in. You can go to my website, and you can order your copy and a copy for a friend. The 10% pre-order discount is no longer available. It ended on the 31st of May. But you can go to my website, and you can purchase your book. If you want signed copies, autographed copies, go to my website. If not, you can order it via Amazon as well. But I wanted, in regards to your, and we're closing on this, in regards to your Home Depot analogy, as it pertains to seeking advice and seeking counsel from those that aren't qualified. I have a quote in my book on page 67 under the chapter A Winning Mindset, and it says, stop listening to people whose lives don't align with their advice.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's where many of you need to mature. You need to stop listening. Jacob talked about calling your girlfriend and she's been divorced or never married. And here you are married. She's never been married, doesn't have the credentials, doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the wisdom. Stop taking advice from people. Stop listening to people whose advice don't align with their life. All right. When you have something that has gone awry and or something that's damaged in your marriage, you seek professional help. And when I say professional, I'm not necessarily talking about professional from a from a occupational standpoint. I mean professional in regards to someone that has a successful track record in what you're doing. So you don't necessarily have to seek a marriage counselor if that is what's warranted. Indeed, do that. But if you receive counsel from a family member or from your parents, make sure that your parents have a successful marriage, and or whomever you're seeking that advice from, that they are giving you not just advice, but they're giving you wisdom that is proven. They're not telling you something that they hadn't tried. They're not telling you something that they have not appropriated themselves. So stop listening to people whose advice don't align with their lives. Closing remarks from my lovely wife.
This has been empowering. I mean, every word from beginning to ending.
It's been good.
So I'm telling you, we're going to have to definitely do a part 2.
Yes, there will be a part 2.
Yes.
And hopefully the other whole, I don't say half, because I didn't marry half a woman and neither did he, but hopefully the other compartment of the Hobson Union will be with us next time. But share, and share, and then share again. And if you desire to connect with us, Jessica and I on Marriage on the Rock, so that you can be in the know as it pertains to what's happening, text MOTROCK to 54244. We are going to start planning that Marriage on the Rock Masterclass 1. We're going to have our previous guests, past guests rather, we're going to have them come back and I'll deal with them to get the logistics worked out. And we're going to definitely endeavor to do it live, but we're all in different time zones, so we have to work that out. But it will not be free. All the free you're going to get is here. But this is going to have a nominal fee because we need folk who are serious about bettering their
Right.
marriage and or putting tools in your marriage toolbox to assist you to be the best spouse that you can be, husband or wife, when God connects you. So if you want to be in the know as it pertains to what is going to happen,
Stay tuned.
as it pertains to that,
Mhm.
then you need to pick up your lovely cell phone and
Yes.
text MOTROCK to 54244. That will put you in our database. And I forgot to text our people to let them know that we were live, but get in the database. And then if you want to sow into what we're doing here via this platform, you can also text MOT give. Let me look at it. MOT rock. Lord help me. MOTR. Let me just read what I have up here. MOTR give to 54244. Same number, different phrase. So you text MOTR give to 54244 if you want to sow into the ministry.
And dying to
And
live.
yes, you can be single
Yes,
and
you
attend. You do
can.
not have to be married.
Yes.
This platform is not solely
Right.
for married people. You can be single, divorced,
Yes.
widow.
So if you know anyone, let
So
them know.
if it's you, if you're single, not
Right.
married, you just get in the database
Mhm.
and you'll be in the know when
So
we
welcome.
plan to do our marriage
Right.
masterclass. This is not solely for married people. We are
Exactly.
here to help
Mhm.
those who are not married and desiring to marry, or
Right.
those whom are looking to remarry. Maybe your spouse is deceased, and we'll get into divorce and remarriage. We'll get into that in a whole nother alive, because that's a whole nother thing. Preachers
Yeah.
don't want to touch on that
Right.
biblically. We don't want to
Right.
touch on that scripturally.
Right.
You've been married 5 times and none of your spouses are dead.
Well,
But nonetheless, we're closing on
yes.
that.
So dying to live. So share, spread the word.
Yes, we're done.
Yes,
We're
let
done.
your
Thank you,
friends know.
Jacob.
Yes, thank you
Thank you,
again, our
Jacob. We
brother.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you
We
hanging out
love
with
you.
us.
We love you.
Yes.
Give our love
Right.
to Michelle and the family. All right, you all share, and have a wonderful
Yes, we'll see you soon.
weekend. It's Pentecost Sunday when the Holy Ghost fell.
Hallelujah.
So find yourself in a
Yes.
church where the Holy Ghost resides to commemorate and remember
Yes.
the day that the Holy Ghost fell. And we all became candidates. Those who are saved, we all became candidates for the baptism of the Holy Ghost. All right, we're gone. Love you.
See
Bye.
you all.